You want to make a move? A big one. Maybe it's finally leaving that toxic job, quitting sugar, or pursuing a dream project. But each time you're about to take the leap, you tell yourself, not ready, not yet, not until this aligns or that happens. But while you keep waiting for the stars to align, life is passing you by. You're sacrificing years in exchange for something that doesn't exist. In this video, we are going to break down why you're still waiting and how to stop before it's too late. There are 3 things keeping you from taking the leap. First, we have an innate fear of failure. Second, your desire for perfection. And third, you haven't found a compelling enough reason to take the leap. Once you remove those 3 barriers, you'll be unstoppable. Let's dive in. Scene 1. You say you're waiting for perfect timing. We often think we're waiting for a sign, an indicator that we can finally take action. But most of the time, we're running away from discomfort. Sure, you could plan for a few more months, analyze more data, or save up more money, but then what? At some point, you have to confront the problem directly. No matter how much preparation you have, you'll never feel 100% ready because that's where the magic happens. You don't need the green light, you need the guts to go. When you ignore that voice inside telling you to take action and instead tell yourself, not yet, you're betraying your future self. Now, you may be thinking, but Veng, I've made a pros and cons list. I've spoken to my friends. I've visualized the outcomes. I even drew up an implementation timeline. What more do you want? And to that I say, you're still not ready. Because any plan made by your current self will never be good enough for your future self. That inner voice, that intuition, is always going to be louder than any spreadsheet. It's okay to put in the work up front. Just don't hold yourself hostage to it. Trust me, you'll never have all the answers. Stop trying to stack the deck in your favor and start playing the hand you've been dealt. Scene 2. You're afraid of being seen. Imagine if every time you took a step forward, your progress was documented for everyone to see. You would feel exposed, vulnerable, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of the expectations that come with other people knowing your plans. This is why you procrastinate. To hide your small beginnings, you don't want anyone to know how hard it is for you. You fear looking incompetent. You worry that others will judge you. But here's the thing. Nobody cares. They're too busy worrying about their own perceived incompetence. If they did notice, they wouldn't care. Even if they did care, they shouldn't. If someone judges you for starting small, do you really want them in your life? Now, I'm not saying you should broadcast your every move. I am saying you shouldn't let the fear of others stop you. Scene 3. You're afraid of making mistakes. We often feel like if we do something wrong, our whole life will collapse. Like Sisyphus forever condemned to push his boulder up the mountain, only for it to roll down again and again. But here's the thing. The mistake isn't the punishment. The mistake is the opportunity to learn. Every setback is a chance to adjust. Every failure is a stepping stone to success. As Thomas Edison said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. People don't fear failure. They fear the consequences of failure. Like, what will people think if I fail? What if I disappoint my family? What if I lose all my money? Those aren't failures. Those are problems to be solved. Failures are when you give up. That's what you should fear. Scene 4. You're afraid of disappointing yourself. Everyone has an inner critic. That nagging little voice that tells you everything you can't do, everything you're not. And the worst part is, we listen to that voice. Sometimes we allow that inner critic to control our actions. But here's the thing. Your potential doesn't have an expiration date. You haven't failed yet unless you stop trying. Disappointing yourself is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. They pass, but regret, that's forever. You can always try again. You can always recover, but you can't always recapture the same moment in time. You can't always get back the hours, days, and years you wasted. Scene 5. You're waiting for a sign. There's no secret. There's no cheat code to tell you when it's time to take action. Here's the closest thing to a sign you'll get. This moment, right now, this very instant, is the perfect time to take action. Stop thinking about it and start doing it. Stop dreaming about it and start becoming. Stop fantasizing about the outcome and start focusing on the input. You won't have all the answers. You just need the courage to begin with what you have. Clarity comes from movement, not overthinking. You think successful people had perfect timing? Of course not. They take imperfect action. Scene 6. You haven't suffered enough. You're trying to escape a bad relationship, but you haven't suffered enough. You want to start a business, but you haven't suffered enough. You want to quit sugar, but you haven't suffered enough. This is a lie we tell ourselves to justify inaction. It's easy to empathize with someone who's had it rough, who's been beaten down by life. But sometimes we have to push through discomfort to get to the other side. And that's not always easy. Oftentimes we don't know how strong we are until being strong is our only option. You haven't suffered enough is a polite way of saying, I'm not ready, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve happiness. That couldn't be further from the truth. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be free. And those things won't fall in your lap. You have to go after them. No matter how many obstacles stand in your way, no matter how much suffering you've endured in the past, none of that matters. If you don't take action, it's time to rise above. Stop waiting for permission. Take it upon yourself to design the life you crave. Scene 7. You haven't found your why. Do you know why you're doing what you're doing? Why do you want to escape your situation? Why do you want to start that business? Why do you want to live a different life? We have to have a compelling enough reason to take action. If your why is not strong enough, your why not will always win. Think about someone who smokes. They know smoking is bad for them, but they continue anyway. Their addiction is stronger than their fear of getting lung cancer. Think about someone who stays in a bad relationship. They know their partner isn't treating them right, but they stay anyway. Their love is stronger than their fear of being alone. Your why needs to be bigger than your fears, bigger than your comfort zone, bigger than your excuses. It needs to be earth-shattering. In fact, I challenge you to write down why you want to take this leap. Why is it important to you? Why will it change your life? And if you can't think of a reason, then maybe it's not important enough. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe it's not worth it. It's easy to talk about taking risks when you're sitting safely on the sidelines. But the reality is, if you want to make a move, you have to be willing to pay the price. You have to be prepared to face the music. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be. Nothing worth having ever was. Most people want the reward without the work. They want the prize without the pursuit. But here's the thing. Life doesn't work that way. If you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to face your fears. And I promise you, once you do, the world will open up to you in ways you never imagined possible. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And hey, you can also check out the links below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.